Detroit Lions fans have been through some dark times. We really, really have. And after decades of being at the bottom, being the laughing stock, the butt of the joke with the NFL, things are changing for the Detroit Lions. In this video here, I just want to talk about a video that I saw from Albert Breer from SI. You can check it out from their YouTube channel. I will link it in the description. Shout out to Mr. Poole. I was waiting on the entire thing to release so I could watch it. And we're just going to go over a couple things. I didn't take any notes, but I am going to speak from the heart here with some of the things that I heard and the changes that I see with our team. They sat down and they spoke with Jared Goff, General Manager Brad Holmes, and our coach, beloved coach Dan Campbell. And they talked about inheriting the team from Matt Patricia. They didn't mention him by name, but they talked about it. And one of the things that they mentioned is that they knew what they were getting into. They knew what team they had. And that in that team, there were some core guys that you can build the team around, but they knew that they were up for a challenge. It was going to be a challenge. One of the things that stood out as well is Jared Goff. Jared Goff gets no love here in the city of Detroit. He is a polarizing figure, and I really think it's undeserved. No matter what he did with the Rams, he's your quarterback now. And we have not given Jared Goff a fair shot. I have always believed in Jared Goff. There are times in year one that I was talking about benching him just to kind of spark him and say, hey, you know what? If I can get benched, let me play better. Never happened, but they asked him about coming from LA and what did he expect? And he said something that really kind of stood out to me. He said he was shocked at first because I keep telling y'all, he didn't know he was traded until he was traded. And I remember the Matthew Stafford thing happened. It happened in the middle. It was about 10 o'clock at night, somewhere around there. And the news broke that Stafford had been traded to the Rams and that part of that deal was Jared Goff. And how he was shocked at first, but after 3 minutes, he talked to Dan Campbell, talked to Brad, and was like, let's go. And one of the things he said is, they wanted me, so I wanted them. He wanted to be somewhere that he was wanted. And listening to those two gentlemen talk, Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes, they talked about the mental toughness of Jared Goff, along with the physical toughness. We know Matthew Stafford, he's tough. He's super tough physically, but Jared Goff might be more tough on the mental from a cerebral standpoint. And it really made me appreciate Jared Goff even more. You know, listen, I believe in Goff, and there's nobody I want to see win more than this trio of men. I want this trio of men to win. And I believe that at least two of them will take us there. Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell will be around for a while. And Jared Goff, I hope that he is our quarterback for the foreseeable future. He's young. He's young enough that we can keep him for a second contract. And that's just how I feel for Jared Goff. I think he's uber talented and he's got room to grow. And I think he's hitting his stride as we speak. But just hearing these guys talk and knowing what they had to deal with. And they talked about how I know you do, the 0-10-1. When we won that game in week 13, we finally got in the win column and the whole world was talking about the way we were celebrating because they didn't understand that we were the first team in the NFL to go 0-16 in the season. We were the first team to do that. So avoiding the first 0-17 season is a big deal. Winning feels good. It doesn't matter when it comes, it feels good. You can be 0-6, you can be 0-10-1. Winning feels good. They talked about how Dan Campbell, Brad Holmes, they never, ever lost faith. That the guys were coming in like their record was not 0 wins. Brad Holmes talked about last year and how Sheila Hamp Ford stepped out in front of the public and gave them a boost of encouragement and how they never stopped believing in this team. They also talked about the expectations for the future. And what I like about this team is it's our job to fill the bandwagon up. It's our job to drive this hype train out of control, derail the hype train. But it's their job to make that a reality. It's their job to make sure that these men are ready to perform and back up what they say. Brad Holmes said something. I was like, I like this guy. I mean, you like him, you love him, you love Dan Campbell, you love. St. Brown, you love these guys. This group of men, you love. Brad Holmes said when they asked about facing the Chiefs and the expectations for the season, he said, the hype is fine, but he loves the fact that you got to go back it up. He loves that. You have to go back up all this hype that everybody's giving you. It's your job to back it up. That's fantastic. And the more that you see these men, the more that we get to see what they talk about, how they're really thinking, the more you see that these guys, and Jared Goff is in there too, really believe that this is the answer. This is what we've been waiting for. From the kneecap biting speech to this year's draft. This is what we've been waiting for. Another thing that popped up too is that I've been saying to you guys since the end of the season. There is no year 3 of a rebuild. They knew what they had in year 1. They had to build on that in year 2. They know what they got in year 3. There is no year 3 of a rebuild. They've got the core, and Jared Goff is part of that core, but the core group of guys that they built this team around, they keep bringing in more guys like them, and that this is year 3. This is not year 3 of a rebuild. Yes, do you have to keep getting better? Absolutely. Brad Holmes said, the league is too good for you to get complacent. So, of course, he's going to get better. But what it told me is that, very similar to how I think, the rebuild is over. They're building cosmetically now. Now it's about getting a few good pieces, putting them in the right places, putting in position to win. Remember, after year 1, Brad Holmes came out and said, we had to give Jared Goff things to work with. And believe you me, year 1, there was nothing here. There was nothing here. Tyrell Williams, injured. Brashard Perriman didn't make the team. St. Brown took over half a season to find his groove with Jared Goff. This team is serious. And I truly believe, I know you guys watch me and yell at the TV. That's what I do. But I truly believe that this group of guys is going to be it, that they're going to lead us to where we need to be. And it started with year 1 and the abysmal. Can you believe it's already been 2 years since Matt Patricia's been gone? We are 2 years removed from the abysmal 3-13-1 season. But what happened at the end of that? We wind up going 3-1 in our last 7 games. It was just so much to talk about. So much it's a 20-minute, 26-minute video. Take a look at it. Link will be in the description. I could go on and on, but I'll stop here because we're at 8 minutes now, and I don't want to make this video too long, and I want you to listen to it for yourself. But what this told me is that the rebuild is over. Now it's about turning that corner, backing up what this team is built on. A few extra pieces. Now it's about a few pieces. A C.J. Gardner-Johnson here, a wide receiver there, a defensive tackle here. This team has a bright future, and I'm glad I get to see it after decades of misery that we've been through. I think that time, as a matter of fact, I know that time is over. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Be sure to check the video out. Again, there was no training camp today. That resumes tomorrow on Saturday, and we have the joint practices next week. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions.